Ever since I've had my 2001 Jaguar X Type V6 2.5 Petrol Manual, it has had a slight oil leak from the engine, and it's always commented on in the MOT. It's not a failure, but I've never been actually able to figure out what it is. And then the other day I was watching the amazing Scotty Kilmer, and he gave me an idea of what it might be and how to cure it. So I'm going to have a go at that. The oil leak is evident down this side of the engine, and it comes from about halfway down, goes down the side of the engine, coats the pulleys and the pulley belt, and actually never makes it to the ground. It gets onto the exhaust where it's burnt off. I've taken the plastic cover off, and we can see that around this sensor here, the pressure sensor, it is very oily. It's also oily there in the middle and there in the back, but that's been like that for a very long time, and it's actually desiccated, so that's probably the result of splash. This is the problem, and it's coming out through this seal. But why is it coming out through this seal? Well, Scotty Kilmer reckons it's very likely that the pressure relief valve is blocked up. Now, the pressure relief valve on this car is at the other end of this pipe. It's down there, so I need to take this off to get to it. There's two little screws holding it on, one there and one there. Hopefully they should be easy enough to get off. There's the pressure relief valve just down there. It's a little green plastic sensor. You can see on my car that it has had the upgrade with the ribbed pipe. The car really does need this, because these split and play absolute havoc with the intake and bring up all sorts of management lights. And you can see this has been done, and it's had a new clip put on this end. Presumably the old one wasn't compatible. So we'll just unclip that. Well, it took a bit of strength to pull that off, but it did just pop off. What interested me is that it is actually quite oily inside, and this is quite oily. The elbow connector, that actually moves, presumably so you can get it in the right position for any car. So I need to figure out how this comes out. There's a little plastic tag there. The Jag forums tell me to turn it a quarter turn counterclockwise, and then it should come out. PCV has two little tags here, which the Americans call channel locks. Right, you can just see that one there. I've actually snapped the other one off because the thing's so old, it's brittle, but it still won't come out. In order to get better access, I've taken this airbox out, and it just pops out of here and is screwed with one screw at the other end. It just makes it much easier to get at the PCV valve. Right. Using adjustable spanner placed on the square, I've managed to just click it, and now it will actually turn it out. And you can see it's got a spiral drive on it with a seal. So even though I've broken one of the channel locks, it can still go back on until I inevitably have to go and buy a new one. Now, the test with these is they should rattle. And that rattles, so there's obviously nothing wrong with it. It is pretty oily, so I'll just clean it with some white spirit before I put it back in. Right, to put it back in, just find the point where it locks and then turn it and click it in. It still clicks in the right position, and it's still sealed even though that's broken. Well, that all went back together easy enough. Everything just push fits in. I put a little bit of lubricant on each joint just to make sure, clean everything before it goes back. You should always clean things before you put them back on the car, if only to show that you've actually done the work. And it brings me back to my original problem, which obviously I am going to have to at some point change this seal. I'm not really looking forward to that.